Well, hello, everybody. I am here with me, Phil Kilcrease, and Evan Degray, who is the star of the show today. And he is the owner of a company called Rugged Components. So, Evan, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah,
And
happy to be here.
excellent. It's always fun to get interviewed, right?
Oh, yeah.
Share your story and whatnot. So tell me a little bit about yourself and what exactly is Rugged Components.
Yeah, for sure. So my name's Evan Degray. I'm from Park City, Utah, and just kind of born and raised riding bikes and such. And in that, just while riding bikes, basically, I saw this need for a bicycle multi-tool that could integrate into your bike. And from that idea, when I was kind of like late high school, I took that and went on to create what is now Rugged Components.
Awesome. So it's just the one tool right now.
Yep, just one bike tour at the moment.
One bike tool. So what tools are on there? Is there like a bike pump and things like that, or is it simpler than
It's four different wrenches, four different Allen kind of hex wrenches, and one T25 Torx wrench. And those kind of that covers 90% of your bike.
of
And
everything?
those, yeah, of everything basically. So almost all of the instances or problems you're going to run into when you're on the trail, you'll be able to address with these tools. And though they integrate into the steer tube or the front fork of your bicycle, so they're always up there with you.
So it even doesn't take up that much space on the bike and is out of the way when you don't need it.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, it's just something that's basically it fades away and you can forget about it. It's only
And
there when you need it.
until you need it. Excellent.
Yep.
So with the multi tool, is it like one of those credit cards where it has the holes and you slide it in, or are there different heads that change out?
So it's actually two separate wrenches. You have
Hmm.
your 90-degree like L wrench, and then those have different bits on each end. So it's just those two wrenches making four different bits you can use.
Gotcha. Very cool. So how did you go about making this? Was this just for you to begin with? How did this become Rugged Components?
Yeah, I mean, to start, it was, I mean, as a lot of good things start, it was just kind of being selfish and wanted to make a great product that I personally felt like I needed and would help me
Aha.
just on my every day. So kind of starting off, I did some like it just started with literally just a piece of like chipboard cardboard I cut out, kind of like mocked it up, and I was like, oh, that will probably work. And then from that, I kind of went into like 3D CAD and made a 3D printed like I have the gallon freezer plastic bags full of 3D printed like prototype iterations I've gone through. So
Oh wow.
there's been quite a few.
So what iteration, if you remember, what iteration ended up ultimately being the one? How many did it take?
Actually, so I went all the way through to production ready, and I actually got quotes. I was talking to factories on the first tool, and then after talking to factories, I was like, this isn't going to work. So I went back to the drawing board and started all over with a different one.
Oh, interesting. So what
Yeah,
what so you went all the way through that. What was the indicator that it isn't going to work? Was it too expensive? Did some critical
yeah, it's
thing?
primarily cost right now
Got it.
because I could still make it, and I plan on still doing that tool at some point. But yeah, initially, kind of to ease the market into like introducing this tool, I think something simpler and cheaper was the best way to do it.
So you stripped out features then, is what I'm hearing.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, the
Gotcha.
first one had like instead of four tools, it was like six tools and had a bottle opener and all sorts of stuff. So
Ah,
we'll
see,
still probably bring that back, but it'll be in a while.
well, that's the most important tool right there, the bottle opener, so you can
Oh
throw
yeah,
a few back, a three root beers back, because otherwise
there you
it's
go.
irresponsible. So, and stuff. So six tools and a bottle opener. And it did it take up roughly the same footprint, or did it
Yeah,
shrink down with?
a little bit. So in the tube, basically, I'm just going like length was the determining factor,
Got it.
and so depending on how your frame and all of that is designed, um, that can vary quite drastically. So I basically, as much as I could minimize that change, it would be better and it would fit on more people's bikes. So that's why in this simpler version, I did make it shorter, so it kind of would fit on more bikes and be more ubiquitous throughout.
Excellent. Because more people means more market share. So,
exactly.
And if you are going for the business, that's what you're doing. What was the ultimate? What was the ultimate thing that helped you decide which tools to cut?
Basically, just I guess experience really on this case, because you can even that you can kind of step back and look at like what modern bikes or like kind of how they're built, and viewing that you can see like they're really only using a 4, 5, 6 millimeter hex, and then on some newer ones they're starting to introduce torque standard, and that's basically a T25, and so just using those 4 tools, you've covered 90% of your market, and the only other ones like maybe an 8 or a 10, the bigger wrenches. If you're using those, you shouldn't really be using those on the trail, honestly, because that's going to be like your linkage and your pedals and big things that should probably be adjusted in your garage like correctly.
Yep.
So
something has gone horribly wrong otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. And so I didn't want to enable the stupid people who would break that kind of stuff insensitive. So yeah, a little bit of both.
Got it. Well, you're wanting. This is an interesting direction. So you decided to take those tools out. It not only reduced cost, it also, in your discovery, in thinking through this really hard, that it also protects consumers who think they're more savvy than they really are. And I would occasionally count myself among those. I remember blowing up a dinky and cost bike from Kroger that was like $70 because it was a holdover, and I thought I could do the chain or something like that, and I couldn't. So yeah, so if that is part of the reason you cut it, do you think you'll include those back in a later version? Got to put the bottle opener back in because I want to drink my root beer on the trail.
Of course, bottle opener goes back. Actually, so part of that I didn't really mention is in the space, the tube's only less than an inch in diameter.
Okay.
So, and you still have to have the bolts that goes in there to compress the headset, which is like what that whole space is for. So, keeping that in mind, basically the biggest bit you can physically fit into there is a 6 millimeter.
Oh, whoa, wait. So I've been mispicturing this. The tool goes into the fork? It doesn't sit on the outside?
No, it drops into the tube.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa! That's really dang cool. Okay. Wow. I was picturing like this little shield that you would affix to the front of it because I'm not clever like that.
It drops in and it's like literally it comes off of the top of the tube less than a quarter of an inch. So
oh wow!
This barely little cap sitting there, and then you unscrew that, and you have 2 wrenches you can pull out.
Oh wow! That's
very sleek. That was one of the main things I was
going for. And it's space that isn't being used otherwise. So, dang, that's super clever. So the when you were using this for yourself because you're selfish, did you use it out on the trail and have people go, "What the hell is that? I want that." Did that occur, or were you showing it around and people flipped out?
Kind of like, I mean, I've growing up in like kind of the area I did, like all of my friends ride bikes, so being able to just kind of like talk to like my brother or my dad or like just other friends that they could give honest feedback, which was hard to say when it's your brother or your friend, but usually they know me well enough that it was kind of like, yeah, they'll tell you if it sucks or it doesn't, like if they're gonna actually use it. But yeah, it's still kind of weird actually, because when you pull it out and you start using it, people don't actually. It seems so natural and like it should be there. They don't even like comments on it. They're just like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then you have the occasional person you like do a double take and they're like, wait a second, that's not usually like that. So it's an interesting kind of battle in a sense of that to gain awareness for it. So
Gotcha. So it would be so that an easy retrofit. Now, in terms of growth for this, could it be included just in a bike as it's being assembled outright?
that's the grand plan.
Ah, I
Yeah,
see. I've pulled back the curtain a little bit, it sounds like.
you did. Yeah. So basically, what I want to do is I still want to sell to consumers, but the grand plan is like, yeah, you buy a new Trek or Giant or Specialized, any of these big kind of name brand bicycle companies, and it would be on it. So I'd be selling in hundreds of thousands instead of like one or two kind of thing.
And
So
and it would be just as natural as a bottle cage in the central area on the outside of the bike where a normal like me would think it would go. So
exactly.
that's pretty dang neat. Have you found any people to talk to on that? Have you made any headway on that yet?
A little bit. I'm still kind of it's rough going for sure because you have to have the numbers to kind of back what you're doing. So trying to generate that first, and then basically I just need to find the right people to talk to. I know like I have some people that can kind of point me in the right direction so far, so that's definitely been helpful. But yeah, it'll be a search for sure to find the right people who can actually make the call and be like, yeah, we want to put that on our bike
and make it happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is what it comes down to is who you know, so they can make those introductions.
For sure.
Well, along those lines, so you've got the additional tool, you've got the core set. Is there anything else that you would want to spin out through Rugged Components? Because this is
Working on a bunch of stuff. Actually.
A bunch of stuff. Like
yeah.
What?
All sorts of stuff. I have like potentially like a fender of sorts that is like a direct mount for bikes. Maybe another one would be really cool is basically all of these for some reason I guess I keep finding like a problem and just going head on into it. So I want to for this tool I'm doing currently I want to make it for road bikes, and the whole tube interface is carbon, so it's a whole different load of problems that you go.
Because weight's a concern there, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it would be definitely that's its own challenge, but I want to do that one. That's probably the first step, and then after that, you have things that probably won't be in that space, just other kind of tools and stuff that I want to make in the future. But one thing at a time.
That is a sage thing to do. I can have a tendency to take on too many things, and then it becomes a house of cards with spinning plates that you got to keep going. How's that for mixed metaphor? Well, so Rugged Components is your baby right now. Have you done any other businesses in the past, or do you have other side jams going right now?
I've done both.
Actually. Tell me more.
Yeah. So, starting kind of what like led me to Rugged was I did my own clothing company, like every other kid in high school, basically. But yeah, that was a fun opportunity because I'm an industrial designer, so I have some graphic design background as well. So I was designing and making all of the shirts myself.
Oh, cool.
I actually I found a rapper out of the UK that I produced like a custom line for his new album that he released. That was interesting for sure. But that kind of like honestly in the end of it all my designs sucked, so no one really wanted them. Like fair enough. So cutting down, I kind of went into Rugged, and then currently I'm also working on a medical device as well. So we'll see how that one goes. That's with a team of two other bioengineering students. So we're looking at laparoscopic surgeries, which are minimally invasive, trying to create a product that makes the surgeon's life better, basically. So,
very cool.
There's a running theme of me just basically wanting to make things that make people's lives better. So, yeah.
That's what engineers do, right? You're an engineer, a designer. you break the world and make it better after you put it back together. So I'm envisioning something that is an absolutely horrific idea that you should totally do. Is you should take rugged components, helping surgeons, and mush them together. So like some implant that shoots out whatever tool they need. So scalpel, suture. So they're like Inspector Gadget, but as a surgeon. No? Yes? No? Maybe?
I honestly, I could see it. I don't know right now, but give it like 10, 15 years, that might be a thing.
Yeah, like in all seriousness,
Sure.
instead of like it shooting out of the palm, it would probably be like an extra adaptation for hand or something like Straight Out of Shadowrun or something. So, but silliness aside, thank you so much for your time, Evan. Really appreciate you joining me today. Any closing thoughts before we cut you loose to continue going out and kicking butt?
Not really. To anyone out there, just keep following your passion and just fail early and fail cheaply.
Cheaply is the key. Yes.
Cheaply is very much the key because and as my bag of prototypes will say, it's very important because when you get to manufacturing, it's not fun to do that. It costs a lot.